While in Tiruvannamalai, India, earlier this year, I was graced with a private satsang with a living sage by the name of Ganga Ma. On my departing from our togetherness, she handed me this book and said, "The truth lies within here. Follow this and you will know yourself." And this is the book that she gave me, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Samad means glorious or splendor, and Bhagavad Gita is the song of God. And I'd like to read a couple sentences out of here that just caught my attention and blew me away on the truth of this. When we speak and God listens, it is prayer. When God speaks and we listen, it is self-inquiry. But as long as we continue to speak, God will not open his mouth. Only when we stop our chatter and surrender to him completely will he start to speak. Our entire spiritual practice is to make the silent one speak. When the Lord speaks and we listen, that is the song of God. So when we speak and God listens, it's prayer. Because what that's saying is that we are praying to something other than ourselves. There's a me here, and there's a God out there, and I am praying to that God, asking God for something in return. That is duality. He will never hear you, nor will you hear him, if you continue to pray in that fashion. When God speaks and we listen, it is self-inquiry. Because in self-inquiry, we seat ourselves in him. We have a direct experience of him. He is not an object that we look on to asking for something. He becomes a non-objective experience. And in that non-objective experience, he starts to speak. But he doesn't speak in words. He speaks in non-dual experience. He speaks inherently to you. And how does he speak? He speaks in this direct experience of himself. He is speaking, he is directly experiencing himself. And who is he? He's utter silence and stillness. Because he is everything. So anywhere he looks, he only finds more of himself. So when you seat yourself in him, you experience the qualities of his stillness and silence. And these qualities are wholeness, in lacklessness, and fulfillment. And you are having a direct experience of him through this non-objective experience. So as we turn our attention inward in self-inquiry, the conceptual egoic mind dissolves and goes silent. And we could say that that experience is when the ego loses interest in its own self-interest. Because what's happening is that when you become fulfilled and whole, you lose your interest in anything other than yourself. Because anything other than yourself is just more of yourself. So you don't need anything anymore. This is what is referred to as the end of seeking. It's the end of needing something to fulfill or fill your hole of lack. It's an end. It's the end of questions. There are no more questions because He is the answer, and you are resting in and as Him. There is no duality here. There isn't a you resting in Him, asking Him something as you do in prayer. There is just a direct experience of Him. You're not asking anything of Him because you are Him. And you are experiencing everything you're wanting in prayer, inherently. So how do we make the silent one speak? By resting in Him and as Him, via self-inquiry. As you turn your attention away from the objective world onto the non-dual experience of God, He will start to speak. And what does He say? In non-verbal communication is you are peace. You are wholeness. You are total satisfaction. And that's what's experienced. And then, because you take yourself with you wherever you go, regardless of the situation, you get to experience Him directly and permanently as yourself, anywhere and in any situation.